wishing to fully immerse journalists who will write about the brand new 2018 Subaru Crosstrek and its new standard X mode feature in the intended terrain the new design shines in, the great outdoors. Dominick Infante, National Manager of Product Communications for Subaru of America, developed Camp Crosstrek and chose the back roads, highways, and byways in and around Deadwood to host base camp and a 200-mile, 6-hour test drive as part of the U.S. launch of the vehicle. We've got 55 journalists from every state in most major automotive magazines, Popular Mechanics, Car and Driver, Motor Trend. Infante, who is based out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, said, "We brought them here for 2 nights and there are 2 lanes. One came in Monday, Tuesday they drove, and Wednesday, they're leaving. Another group arrives Wednesday, drives Thursday, and fly home Friday. With 25 sleeping tents, 2 bar areas, meeting tents, a presentation tent, check-in tent, and Camp Crosstrek photo op set up in a Boulder Canyon meadow. Journalists will camp, drive, hike, fish, take in a bit of archery, if they wish, and, of course, drive. We see a lot of Subarus used out here," Infante said. "The lifestyle out here closely matches that of our owners. They're outdoorsy. So I did Deadwood. We wanted a place we could go off-roading so we can show what the car is capable of," Infante said. "Almost half the time we'll be driving off-road." Subaru X Mode is a software program designed to give more traction and control in tricky terrain. X Mode helps in hill descents, very steep declines, Infante said. "This area had all that. We wanted something around Mount Rushmore, but there are not a lot of hotels right there, so I thought, what if we stay in tents?" Infante said that somehow, loaning a journalist a Subaru to drive through Detroit doesn't have the same effect as loaning a journalist a Crosstrek to drive around Deadwood. "I want to bring a sense of adventure to these launches," Infante said. "In Detroit, you're not able to take it off-roading. I want to mimic what our owners actually do with the cars." Infante said that hands down, most other launches are done in 4-star hotels. "We did the original launch of the brand new Crosstrek 5 years ago in Hawaii," Infante said. "It created a whole new segment. A year after it was launched, it climbed to our 3rd best-selling vehicle. For those who are from big cities, doing a launch in Deadwood is quite a treat. I only had one journalist say they absolutely would not come here, and I totally understand. This isn't glamping. We have 5 people here from Japan, and they think it's great to see open country like this, as opposed to Tokyo," Infante said. "The real beauty in South Dakota is that we get on gravel roads that go for miles and miles. Our cars do really well on dirt, so we want to be off-road as much as we can because we can have this luxury. The luxury of space, expanse, of nature, mountains and monuments. That's what it is." So what does freelancer Steve Seiler, the West Coast online editor for Car and Driver magazine, say about the opportunity to frequent Camp Crosstrek? "I was here, in Deadwood, 20 years ago, and I've been looking forward to it, looking forward to coming back," Seiler said. "I've only been here 30 minutes, but it's beautiful, and I just ate the best portobello mushroom of my life. Right now, I'm driving into Deadwood. I gotta go."
The Eyes on Design Lifetime Achievement Award is probably the most coveted prize for car designers. Unlike most auto design prizes, it is not adjudicated by design commentators, journalists or critics. Rather, the world's best car designers, all past winners of the award, are the judges. Winners include Marcello Gondini, former chief designer Bertonian of the Lamborghini Miura and Countach, and Bruno Sacco, the great Mercedes-Benz design classicist. We find Tom Gale, creator of so many daring 90s Chryslers including the Dodge Viper, and Peter Schreier, the most important German car designer of the past decade. It was Schreier who made Kias and Hyundais desirable. He transformed them from lumpy eyesores into stylish alternatives to European and Japanese cars. Chris Bangle's inclusion may be more controversial. He was once widely regarded as the antichrist of car couture as he flamed surfaced previously genteel and graceful BMW saloons. In retrospect, we see he modernized BMW design and is probably the most influential car designer of this century, pioneering the surface entertainment now common from Mitsubishi to Mercedes. The inclusion of Patrick Lecumant, the visionary ex-Renault design director, is obvious. Other past winners include Giorgetto Giugiaro and the late Sergio Pininfarina. So when this elite group salutes you, it's fair to assume you know your E-types from your Allegros, and your Dinos, DSs and D-types from your PT Cruisers and Pontiac Aztecs. Only one Japanese designer has won the award, Nissan's Shiro Nakamura. Now when you look at the latest tangle of angle Lexus SUVs, over ornate new Hondas and fuzzily styled Toyotas, it is perhaps no surprise that Japanese winners are rare, although Mazda's design chief Ikuo Maeda is doing great work. I've always admired Nakamura. The likable 66-year-old is in many ways an old-school car designer, modest, gracious and good-mannered, invariably elegantly attired in fine suit and tie. He joined Nissan at the start of the carless GHOSN revolution almost 20 years ago and helped transform the company, becoming the most influential Japanese car designer. I wanted to elevate the role of design within Nissan and within Japanese car companies, he told me. Carlos GHOSN understood the importance of design. Shiro retired from Nissan at the end of March and will now have more time playing bass in his jazz band and making violins, a hobby. He'll get to play his cello more too. No doubt he'll also pick up some juicy design consultancies. I had dinner with Nakamura in Tokyo a few days after his retirement was announced. We dined with Patrick Lecumant, who recommended Nakamura to GHOSN as the man who could revolutionize Nissan design. Now I don't pretend to like all recent Nissans. Rather, what I admire is the astonishing variety and boldness of these Shiro-era cars. Many have defined sectors and changed the car industry. They include the cartoonish but globally successful Juke. There's the influential cash cow that pioneered the modern mid-size crossover. We see big front-engine muscle cars, the wonderful GTR, and stylish sportsters such as the 350Z. This was Shiro's first Nissan and signal of the transformation to come. We see the strange but practical Cube, popular in Japan, and the Leaf, the first modern electric car from a mainstream car maker. The new Micra is one of the finest looking Supermanis. Plus we find some highly original concepts. I particularly like the Pivo 2 electric runabout. Its rotating cabin and 90-degree pivoting wheels gave unsurpassed urban maneuverability. Shiro loves London. When he searched for a location for his European design headquarters, he chose a former British rail maintenance depot in Paddington. Nissan remains the only major car company with a large London studio, the only auto company to benefit, day by day, from the cultural richness and stimulation of Western Europe's biggest, most vibrant and most diverse city. I looked at Germany, Italy, France and Spain, but there you get ideas that reflect German or Latin design. London gave me really international thinking. It can't be a coincidence that the two most successful Nissans of the past decade, the Qashqai and Juke, were both Paddington proposals.
Driving along 12.16 kilometers up rough gravel road in 6 minutes and 9.09 seconds is impressive. It means you'll have traveled an average of 118.6 kilometers per hour, and that's not low when the road underneath you is comprised of dirt and loose rocks. That's also impressive when about half of that gravel road is chiseled into the side of a mountain. What's even more impressive is that someone just did it 24 seconds faster. Subaru Rally Team USA driver Travis Pastrana has thrashed the Mount Washington Hill Climb route record with a time of 5 minutes and 44.7 seconds. That means he averaged 127 kilometers per hour. The 450 kilowatts rally spec car has the Subaru WRX STI Boxer 4, but tuned and boosted to reach the output which allowed this record-breaking run. As well as the onboard, Subaru USA recorded the run in 360 degrees, which you can watch below. If you're in bandwidth-poor Australia, it might pay to lower the quality so you can see things happening smoothly. Pastrana says he hopes his record will hold up for a while, though there's surely some madman out there willing to risk flinging themselves off a cliff in the name of motorsport. On our first run I leaned on the tires too much on the bottom half, which made the top half very loose and scary but really fun. I was sideways a lot but I'm sure I lost some time. Pastrana on the second run I conserved the tires and drove cleaner. I really didn't expect to drop the record further. This road is such a challenge, it's probably the toughest road to drive flat out in the world. The former record holder was Pastrana's teammate David Higgins, who would have had another attempt at the course had he not almost flung himself off the edge of the cliff. It was going really well up until it went really bad, he said. If you were going fast enough to win the event you were going fast enough to crash. But there is no better person to lose my record to than Travis.